Hi everyone, welcome to the next chapter of Tally's Flutter development course. So in the last few chapters we had created custom widgets, we had split our code to create new classes for those widgets. So if you haven't watched our previous chapters yet, make sure to check them out. Link to all the previous chapters will be available in the description below. And also you can click the card here to access the playlist for our Flutter course. So in this video specifically, we are going to look into stateful widgets in Flutter. So until now we were we were only dealing with stateless widgets. So in this video we will learn why stateful widgets are crucial and in which particular scenario we will be using stateful widgets. Also we will know how to effectively implement them in our Flutter application. So let's look into our app, what we had created in our previous chapters. So basically we had static text hello world and we had broken them into various widgets. So we had a gradient container, we have a main dart where we have used this gradient container as a widget, and inside this gradient container we have another widget which is style text for the text which is hello world here. So now what we need to do is, right now our app is static, it does nothing. So today our objective will be to have some functional value to our app, like to have some functionality in the app. So what we are going to do is we are going to have a button here. Instead of, first of all, we will be getting rid of this text hello world. We will have a button here which will say roll dice, and on press of that button we will roll a dice and different numbers of the dice will be shown. So for that I have few images of dice with different numbers on it. So what we need to do is we need to show this image here. So how we can do that? So first of all, in order to add any assets to Flutter, we need to create a folder called assets. So let's create a folder named assets, and inside assets we will be having different assets. It can be font, it can be icon, it can be images. So right now let's create a folder called images where we will keep all our downloaded images. So let's insert them here. Now if I go into my project directory, I can see assets folder has been created, and inside images I have all the images. Okay, so now next thing which I need to do is I need to go into pubspec.yml. Like pubspec.yml, if I scroll into this asset section, we can see that in order to add any asset into our application, we need to add it here in pubspec.yml. So let's just comment out this section, and we will be like getting rid of this, and we will have our own file path. So obviously our path is different, so this is our path. So let's add this. Now let's duplicate the, like we need to add 6 more images, so let's duplicate that. Okay, so once we add this images here, let's save the pubspec.yml and go into a gradient container where we can use this image, like we can show the image here instead of this text. So let me just get rid of this text here, and we will be adding the image here. So let's add it as a center widget, and inside that let's add a child which will have column main axis element as axis size not min Now we have our children array. Now let's add the image. We will be adding images like this, the image asset, and we will be putting, the path. For us it will be images dice.png. Let's add width as well. Let's say 200 should be good. Okay, so now let's see what happened. Okay, so we need to reload the app and see. Now we can see the image has been added here. Now what we need to do is we need to add a button as well. So let's try to add a button. So after this, let's add so this is just for a spacing between the button and the text, button and the image. Let's add it as text button, where we'll be having the child as roll dice should be the name of the text. So we will be also needing the onPressed parameter, so we can put a anonymous function here. So I will tell you what is the difference between anonymous function and a normal function. So right now this will get created whenever this button is pressed. So let's keep this as empty for now. Okay, so let's see how does it look. Okay, the text doesn't look so good, so let's add some style as well to it. Text button. It should be good. And let's add some text style as well. I believe you are aware of this because we have used text style in our previous chapters. So let's put font size as 28. This should be good. So here in the anonymous function section, which I have already told you, like on press section, we can use anonymous function, or we can use a normal method as well. So for that, let me create, I prefer the second one, like the second method, where we will be keeping the function different instead of using anonymous function. Let's keep this empty for now. Just print and let's replace this with roll dice. Now let's see if this function is getting called or not. So if I click on roll dice, you can see that button pressed is getting debug print. So it means that our function is working properly. Now we need to write something here so that with every click the image of this dice gets changed. So what we can do, so let's try adding a variable like active dice image, where we will be putting the image here, the default image. For example, let's put number 2 as the default image. And on this function, let's change this value of the variable and set it as let's say 4. So what it intends is like whenever I initially it will be presented with the number 2 on the dice, and whenever I click on this roll dice it will change to 4. So this is what we intend. So instead of this static image here, let me put the value like variable here which we have created. Now what it says that since I have added a variable here, we cannot keep this thing as constant because it might change now. And what we intend, like whenever like we intend to change this value of the variable. So let's remove this const. Now we can get an error here because in the main.file file again we cannot keep this as constant. So let me remove that and hot reload it to see if this works or not. Okay, we can see that the button is getting pressed, but again this value is not getting changed. Like it should show us 4, but instead it's not working. So why is it not working? Like we have to understand this concept. Now whenever the value of the variable is assigned to a variable, once it builds the widget, it takes the initial value. Now whenever the value of this variable is changed, it is not rebuilding this widget. This portion is not getting executed. That's why only the initial value, like the initial value of this variable was having dice2 image, so it always keeps as dice2 image because the widget is not getting rebuilded again. So we need to do something so that we can rebuild this widget whenever the button is getting pressed. So for that we will be needing a stateful widget. So let's wrap it up for this chapter here. This is part 1 and I hope you found it informative. Make sure to check out part 2 where we will continue with the stateful widget. And if you find this content helpful, please take a moment to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel Instaly Academy. By subscribing, you will never miss out on our latest programming videos and tutorials. It really helps to support the channel and allow us to keep creating more great content for you guys. So thanks for watching.